The opinions expressed in the following podcast are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide education and entertainment about the financial industry and the stock market. Enjoy.
On this episode of Pennies Going In Raw, we discuss the market getting hot, give an LTNC taste test, the New York Times and Hughes football profile, and touch on Bitcoin.
Hey, yo, check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav in the building for the Atlas crew.
Atlas Trading, what the fuck is up?
There are traders, there are prodigies, and then there's legends.
We're on 4%, baby.
No way.
4 fucking percent. Buy the fucking dip.
Hey, who told me about IDEX?
Like, dude, what the fuck? Like, someone just made, like, a lot more money than me on my trade.
You find out life's this game of pennies.
Did you check the portfolio?
Pennies. The margin for error is so small.
I bet Warren Buffett never did that.
And they out there making money right now off of penny stocks.
Them two guys is putting in work to make y'all rich.
The pennies we need are everywhere around us.
Time to think big.
Pennies Going In Raw.
Featuring Dan, Deity Dips, and Hugh Honey.
Produced by Vinny Strokes, baby.
This episode is brought to you by Benzinga. Benzinga is our absolute favorite resource to use when we trade. We use it for news scanners. We use it for float checkers. We use it for stock screening. We use it for just about everything, including chat rooms and much, much more. But that's not all they have. They have YouTube as well. Hot Stocks Luke every single day has great guests on, ranging from Ripster to Mia Khalifa to Gary to all the best guests you need to hear from every single day, all day long. So make sure to go check that out. That's youtube.com/Benzinga. And if you look in the replies to this tweet, you will see how to get a discount code for Benzinga Pro. Make sure to go sign up for Benzinga Pro right now. Welcome back to another episode of Pennies Going In Raw. Today is Sunday, May the 2nd, and April's over. Are we in the clear?
Thank God.
Can we start moving forward with our account progress now, or is it still gonna? Because I mean, this past week it definitely seemed like we were seeing things hold up, especially on Friday. You saw, what was it? RHE all day grinder from 5s to over 10. Yeah. Stuff like that. And even everyone was on naked, that Thursday night. It didn't quite hit 1, but it got PR. Everyone was in it. It stayed strong a lot of the day. It stayed above that 70 range. It doesn't look like too many people are down on it if they're holding it. And it just, things are looking up.
Yeah, I mean, even you have something like OCGN, which has no business and has doubled, almost tripled from 10 days ago. And I mean, this thing hit 1365, and everybody was like, "Oh, there we go, back underneath 5." And this thing's at $13 a share right now, so it's only 65 cents off the high. So like, this thing wants higher. So it's really cool to see things holding up. It's really cool to but see, here's the thing, is that we're in a really different market right now, and that's something that I really want to talk about, is the fact that it's been useless to trade pre-market most of the morning, but what we're seeing is that the runners are coming through the day. So that 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. quote unquote quiet period that used to be a thing, now it's 8 a.m. to 9:50 quiet period, and you think like everything flushes off open, it seems like, and then everything recoups, and it seems like throughout the day, just like we have 2 or 3 that go all freaking day.
Yeah, having these ones that are able to hold up is nice, and no, I agree with the pre-market thing. I said it on a couple days ago to a few of my friends. I was saying I need a reason to wake up. I know it sounds like a lot, But what I'm saying is, there's nothing going on in pre-market. News isn't moving it. I mean, even it's still not moving it much. Naked, everyone was in it. Yeah. It still got the PR, but it only went up another like 8 to 10%. But, I think what mainly is cool about Naked was the fact that so many people were in it and it still didn't tank on everyone, Yeah, we haven't seen something like that in a Thin Twit call in quite some time.
Yeah, no, and I think we're getting close to that max pain to where it's like, okay, the algos will turn on. Or, the other thing that could happen is that the market could start taking a hit, which would bring, money back into penny stocks. I think we're close to like max pain. But I just wanted to touch on what we had just talked about is that, for instance, like RHE had only moved 40 cents from 6 to 10:20 in the morning. And then from 10:20 to like 2 in the afternoon, it doubled. So I was talking to a trader who was struggling. I said, don't come to the market until after 9:45. And then after that, just be super cautious and buy on that support and then put your stop loss right underneath, because if they kill it, then they're going to kill it. But if not, buy on support, giving you the best risk to reward. And I mean, if you have something like RHE didn't break below VWAP for another 6 hours after that 10:20.
It bounced off VWAP every single time. It was insane. If you look at RHE's chart on Friday, that's what you want as a trader. It gave you 7 opportunities to trade it and make over 10, 15%. Or if you just held 100%. So, and
that's not, no, go ahead. No, I was just going to say, that's not like something like buying RHE at like 8:30 is not my game. But even I dabbled on the VWAP, like literally, like I can tell you exactly when, what was this, like 2 p.m., right on the VWAP, and I would have had my stop loss 10 cents underneath the VWAP. So I'm risking 10 cents for God knows how much. I mean, it went up like another 25% from that point. But if you risk that 10 cents, you don't need to be trading for fair market value. But if you risk that 10 cents on VWAP and then let the rest ride and say, okay, if it breaks below VWAP or it breaks this support or resistance, this is what I cut it. And I think that, that's what we're seeing it. And if you adapt to that style, then I think we'll do really well. But I think that we are close to getting those 100, 200% pre-market runners.
Yeah, I know I didn't want to make this episode another, hey, are we back? Are pennies back? Because, we did that kind of last week and the week before, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, the kind of thing last week was, are we seeing some life breathed into it? And we saw it a couple days, and we talked about it with Gary, just a couple days ago. And now it's hard to say, this past week makes me feel really good about the coming month.
Yeah, for sure. And it doesn't need to be like, I feel like last year, all of a sudden algorithms just turned on and everything was like flying again. But this is going to be more of like a process. This is going to be like okay,
hedges coming back to work all of a sudden.
Yeah, like this is going to be more of like a weaning into it, like, all right, like we feel better about this. Think of it like a girl, okay? This is the girl that you like in class. And the first like 2 months, you're just like, yo, Dan, like she's so cute. Like, I want to talk to her. And then this week is the week where like in the hallway, you purposely bump her and you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then
you like hit her, you just fucking tackle her in the hallway. My bad. And you just put your whole account in. Is that what you're saying?
Something on the similar. You make a reason to talk to her. Okay. You make a reason to talk to her.
My reason to talk to girls is never like accidental physical altercations that were actually on purpose. But
man, just a romantic.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the shoulder bump on the way to chemistry class is one move.
Yeah, but fuck. But I do feel like this is going to be more of a process. And as we go through the different weeks, I think that, like next week, Like, we could be saying this right now, like, yo, Hugh, like, I bought on VWAP and every single time it failed. And we'll be back here next week, like, yeah, don't do that, like, anymore.
Yeah.
But that's what we're seeing for this week. And I think that is, if you're, like, for instance, RHE, if you kept that 10%, that 10-cent stop loss, that's what you're risking versus, and it held that VWAP all day. And then when it broke below VWAP, it basically got killed it basically got killed. So I think that going into next week, that's going to be a really good strategy. But if we start to see pre-market runners, that's when you have to know that it's time to adapt. Okay. So right now, the coming to the market after 9:30 is, and buying on support is working. If we start to see a 200% runner in pre-market, then that's when you have to say, okay, remember these words, okay? It's time to adapt, because what worked last week might not work this week because we're seeing something different.
No, yeah, I think, obviously as traders, we always have to adapt. And that's one of the things is it changes so fast, and that can always be an issue because it's like we talked about, not trusting the market. Your position size gets smaller. You wonder why you're not making as much money as you were the last time the market was hot. Then you're like, oh yeah, it's because I'm not playing with nearly enough. Or I'm still scaling out for just that 0.5% because that's all I'm used to. And it takes time, and it takes you sometimes you have to take a loss to accept, okay, maybe I adapted too quick. Go back.
Yeah. Well, it's been tough for me is adjusting my account post-tax. I paid like 43% in taxes, and I just reinvest everything. So effectively,
damn, that TD Ameritrade chart probably looks ridiculous, huh?
Fell
off a cliff.
It fell off a steep cliff. It wasn't even like a little bleed. It was just one big gut punch. So that's been tough for me because I actually was running out of buying power because I was using half an account. So that was tough for me because I was like, what the hell? I was like, why am I getting these notices? And then, of course I looked and I had half my account. So, that's been tough for me adjusting, but what I wanted to transition to was Bitcoin. Have you seen Bitcoin?
Yeah, it cost 57 on Friday. I can't remember if it held. What's it doing right now?
Literally, it's like $50 away from 57.
Okay, I remember that 56.8 point was pretty serious. Whenever it crossed that, it had fun. But I was keeping an eye on the Bitcoin sympathies. So I'm happy you mentioned this because, dude, Equos, I was thinking of Bitcoin sympathies whenever it passed 56,800, and I was looking for some Bitcoin sympathies, and I was like, I wonder if Bitcoin is still around that 10, 11 mark. And I check it out, dude. Didn't know a short report hit that bitch to down to like 5.
It's funny because when I hit my phone, I was like, man, thank God Dan's not swing trader, because I remember how much you love that one.
I love Equos.
Yeah, honestly, that's like one of the SOS. This chart on Ecos for the past 20 days is stupid. It hit 13 and it just straight down to 5.
Dude, yeah, that 10 to 13, that 9 to 13, man, look, good trade. I don't know. I need to read that short report, bro. They fucked it.
Well, actually, that's something that we can talk about too, is because what's going on is there's a lot of short reports on these miners, and what they're saying is that these miners aren't actual miners, that they have a few computers and then they're trying to prop up the valuation. The one that comes off the top of my mind the most is SOS. SOS and I think it was Hindenburg, or SOS and the shorts have been going through this social media storm for 2.5, 3 months now, where the shorts call out that SOS is bullshit, and then SOS post a video on YouTube of all their different miners, and then they come back and they say that I would spend 250 grand in computers for $100 million valuation, but that doesn't mean dick. Like that doesn't mean that they're actually mining. So this has been a really interesting story to play out. And I don't really like SOS is one of those where I'm not sure that we'll ever get like an affirmative answer on, like who's right, if you will. But from a trading perspective, all of these CAN, SOS, EQOS, they've been killed on these short reports and with Bitcoin getting killed. So now it's like, okay, there's some opportunity here if Bitcoin really starts to get going. Everybody's calling for Bitcoin's death now, but if Bitcoin starts to really rally, Dan said is that he thought EQOS should be at, or was going to be at like the $9 range. It is literally sitting at 620 right now. So some of these have some opportunity if Bitcoin starts to rally.
Yeah. Regardless if they're only two computers, I don't give a shit what they have.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is that part of the personality is like where had the Bitcoin algorithms been on the small caps, and that's really where like it's kind of like that saying, oh, I'm gonna fuck this up. I just know I am. There's the way things are and the way things seem, and with Bitcoin and everyone that comes into the market. Thank you. And when everyone comes into the market, they always go, okay, I need something with like a strong balance sheet to make money. I need something that's like going to be the next Amazon. When in reality, all it takes is something like, we don't choose where the algorithms go or like what stocks the algorithms latch onto. But for instance, every time that like something like SRNE has news, it pops. But that same news, same day, could go to something like MTNB, and it won't do anything. And that's because one has an algorithm, the other one doesn't. So, it's kind of like that. It's like that saying, as I said, it's the way things are and the way things seem. And that's when, our episode on personality stocks really comes in handy, because EQOS always pops with Bitcoin. And that's because there's probably an algorithm on it, or there's, a bunch of traders that really love that one because it's a smooth trader. So it doesn't need to be, as long as you're not investing in the company, use it as a trading vehicle. It's the same thing with Dogecoin. My friends who work at banks who aren't allowed to like trade stocks, they literally day trade crypto like Doge.
Yeah, dude. Motley Fool is always emailing me saying this is like buying Amazon at 3. I'm not trying to buy Amazon at 3. I'm trying to buy this dog shit penny stock company at 30 cents and sell it at 36. Let's not make this too difficult. I don't need to see the future. I just need a little luck and some technicals. But it is what it is. But yeah, you're right, man. I never thought about it that it could be an algo, but yeah, I've always just expected it just to be just traders knowing like, hey, this is the sympathy. Everyone knows like Bitcoin goes, these go. And the reason they're not running right now wasn't because an algo was turned off. I just thought it was like everyone was just realizing this sucks. Nothing's going.
It's funny because it's kind of like that hint of mysteriousness. I think that's a word. Mysteriousness. Yeah. Mysteriousness that, you don't really know if it's an algorithm. You don't know if it's a bunch of traders, but, there's something there. Or if it doesn't go, you're wondering like, okay, is the algorithm turned off or did everyone just realize that this is a scam company?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
Well, I guess kind of moving into May, how are you going to start kind of entering this, starting at? Because I think for some reason, that naked trade felt good, played out right. Obviously people like, Zach's back. He thinks it's got room to go some more. So, he's smarter than me. So if you're swinging it, you're in safe hands. What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, no, I'm not referring to like funny Twitter memes quite yet. But fuck me.
Zach's back.
Yeah, no, I know that. But no, that naked trade that you had, I felt like it played out so so well. I mean, even the PR, like people don't read that shit. Like Ultra posted, the DD basically said there's gonna be a PR tomorrow, and then the PR comes out tomorrow. People are still saying pump and dump. So that was fucking hilarious.
No, yeah. I mean, most of the time, half the research, like half of the things that are going to come out with the company because they say it inside prior filings. But it just takes time to read it. Like most of these filings, to say that they're going to have news within the next 2 weeks, they'll have like a 200-page filing. And nobody takes time to read those. And you don't have to read them all, but it's always good to skim through them because things like for instance, like something that I used to do with bio companies is that I would just buy it six weeks out from the data released, and I'll sell it like a week before, and it would have like a good 8 to 10% run up. And I mean that was working for a while before everything got mooned and rocket ship emoji. That was working for a while because everything was running into their datas and things of that nature. So I think that if you took the time to read the filings, it would work out so much better. And there's little like keywords that you can look for inside the filings because nobody's going to read the actual whole filing. But if you look for certain I call them like hot words or hotkeys, like literally search for date, like literally date. And then I'll go through the different months, like January, February, March, April, etc. Or like, for instance, like since we're entering May, I'll look for anything past from like May till August. And sometimes, it'll say something in there like by the end of June, we should be getting this, or, June 30th expected this. And that's like where most of the research comes from. Like, it's not like swingers just pull research out of their ass. It's, like it's in the filings. And so that's why it's so important to do DD before you like actually get into a stock, especially if you're going to swing at something like naked. It easily could have been a sell the news, or they could have came out with an offering. So like knowing things like how much cash they have on hand, reading the filing and reading the way that they're saying it is so crucial because, when I enter a stock, I know how much cash they have. So I already know if an offering comes out, if I'm going to hold it or if I'm not going to hold it. But I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't think about when they're inside like smaller cap companies. It's like how much cash they have, what's their risk,
Mm-hmm. Well, this is gonna be a little random segment. Give me 1 second. You'll like this.
I can't wait.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. What is this? Oh boy. Here we go.
Sitting here, I know if you're not watching on YouTube right now,
that's all right. We'll
you
narrate.
won't be able to see it. Yeah, I've got next level hydrogen water. This is LTNC. I'm thirsty. I haven't drank a damn sip of anything except like this water that's been sitting there since the Gary interview.
All right, what do the ingredients say?
So it just says like 0 on everything. There's no calories, there's no fat, there's no sodium, there's no carbohydrate, there's no sugar, and there's no protein.
And what's it made of? This is
spring water, hydrogen, and quad C. And quad C is colloidal copper, colloidal gold, colloidal platinum, and colloidal metal poisoning. I mean colloidal zinc. So I had some funny ideas. Like I put one in the freezer and was gonna make an LTNC popsicle, but the can and the wrap isn't like great. And please LTNC Army, don't like attack me because I've heard your cries that this is what tier 1, level 1 of the can. And it is going to get better. But So it's anti-fatigue, anti-trauma, antioxidant, morning, noon, and night hydration. Anti-trauma. So there's times with, me and that creepy teacher, those are going away. I'll never remember them again after this.
So I'm trying to, first off, when you look up LTNC,
Here, cheers.
hydrogen infused, there's tons of videos that come up. All right, so Dan just took a sip. Oh.
I mean, it's not bad. It's the coldest water I have in my house. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's not like crazy. I'm not like
So, like when you taste it, does anything like? Do you feel like a texture, like a texture, or does it just taste like? What's it taste like?
Like water out of a can.
Like cold water out of a can.
I'll be okay. So I do have some issues. I'm not just trying to talk shit. There are some genuine concerns. Obviously, I've heard everyone on the can. The can fucking sucks ass, and they've got a sticker on here. But water out of a can, I've brought that up before. You sometimes you don't drink it all. You put that shit back on.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's why you've never seen water in a can before, bro.
Oh.
Yeah,
Huh.
but this is the cost of removing trauma from your life and fatigue and oxidants.
Hey, that's not a bad like recurring. I mean, if you have to drink it all when you open it, I mean, think about it. If you drink one of these a day, like water, like I probably don't drink a bottle of water a day, but I mean, I'll screw that bitch in there and then, I'll put it back inside the fridge. But this, you can't do that with. So think about, you could just put everyone on like a subscription. LTNC, hire me. All right, I'll make this even better.
Yeah.
You can put everyone on a subscription.
Hydrogen. Hire Hugh for marketing director.
Yes, sir. It has good ratings. Out of 52 reviews on their website, 44 give 5 stars.
Who the fuck you think those are? Oh my God. Dude, you see, I take a sip of Next Level, and my cat is all over me now.
So maybe it's that copper. It attracts.
I don't know. She's materialistic. It's probably the gold.
Okay,
no,
so
it doesn't taste bad. I don't know if there's like FDA shit on it, but like,
I can tell you it's not FDA approved, but I don't even know if you need FDA approval.
No, you don't. I mean, you can classify this as art, and sell it, not drink it. But
what'd you pay for that? $40?
I paid $50 for 12 cans of water.
The frugalness in me is just like eating itself right now, eating its heart.
Well, I mean, that's a month's water bill for me.
For 12 cans?
Yeah, so that's.
Would you buy it again?
Oh no. No, and this isn't anything against LTNC. I drink Dasani, and then I refill these in my fucking refrigerator, like the filtered water. I put the cap back on, and I put it right back in the fridge. It's all the fucking same, dude. Personally, I don't think if this is like 3 times more expensive than alcohol, like per liquid ounce. Like this, no, I can't afford to buy more.
Okay, so
it just feels weird drinking something like. How much water already has lead, zinc, aluminum in it, like gold?
Also, like, what's the percentage makeup?
Sorry, I said lead. I know it probably doesn't have lead.
Maybe that's the special ingredient.
They're just giving us all lead poisoning.
Well, okay, so I'm genuinely curious, though, for anyone out there. I'm genuinely curious how you infuse hydrogen into water. Like what that process is, because I don't think I've ever seen a video of
Manny Pacquiao or Tom Brady. I'm still
well, even still,
shares.
Like, are they just taking gold bars and just like
marinating it?
Yeah, like what is it, like that really expensive shroom or something where it's like 40 grand for like one little shrivel? Like, is that like what they're doing with this water? Like, I'm genuinely curious because I feel like that would be quite a strenuous job to be like literally putting gold in there.
See, my thing is like the hydrogen.
Or hydrogen.
Okay, like the hydrogen's cool, but why do we need the gold and stuff? Like that's what I'm like. That's the only reason I'm like sketched out by drinking. I don't know if my body needs all these precious metals. Like this isn't a Mr. Beast YouTube video eating a gold burger. Like it's just drinking water. You know.
Well, listen. Like if later you start crushing watermelons with like your bare palms, I guess we'll know, huh?
Yeah, dude. It'd be nice if it could. My hands have always been kind of wrinkly and dry. If it could like soften them. I feel like this LTNC segment that I started out of nowhere has lasted far too long. But yeah, there's my official review. I drank a good half of it. It doesn't taste bad. And I guess if it does remove any trauma, then it's absolutely worth it. So,
do you have a lot of trauma you wanna air out on here?
Trying to think. I've been arrested 5 times. Nothing bad ever went on like on the inside. I know movies they say like things happen, but my cellies were all cool, nice individuals.
Were they big dudes like in for life, like killers?
No, dude. I didn't go to prison. I went to fucking jail.
I didn't think I even know the difference.
Yeah. Jail's like you go there, you wait for court, you get out, or you wait to get bailed out. Prison is like, hey, you go here for 20 years because you're a bad individual.
I think I've been to prison.
Yeah. Oh, you'd make it, man.
Yeah.
Both of us would. No traumas. Maybe I genuinely think I did have traumas, but I just can't remember them now because of this.
Because of LTNC.
Wow. Holy shit.
Okay.
And I was fatigued. No more of that. And antioxidant. I think that means I don't need to use deodorant anymore. So.
All right. So recap, you wouldn't buy it again. Mm-hmm. It doesn't taste bad. It doesn't taste good. Mm-hmm. It tastes like
water.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Sick. We should mention though, for anyone invested, okay, it did come out that I believe they didn't receive the OT.
No, we're not talking about this shit. No, we're not doing that. They'll come at us. It's just not fucking worth it. If you're invested in LTNC, you know whose Twitter accounts to go to learn more about it, and it's not fucking ours. All right. So, another thing, moving on from LTNC, one thing I thought was interesting is kind of the sandwich aspect of this week. How it was like Monday was good, Friday was good, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday were just seemed like back to April days, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
It's just like it's like, can we get one of those full weeks? This is one of the first weeks where I was green every single day. I think all of April, man. Where I was green every day of the week, just because like April's tough, man.
Dude, this year percentage wise has been a terrible year for me. And I mean, now that I took out the money for taxes and I'm trying to adapt to the new portfolio, it's like even worse. Like I'm running out buying. Like I hate day trading. I hate it. Like this shit makes me tired. I need more naps than ever. Like this is horrible for me. I've this year besides January, I've hated. I don't do well day trading. I'm a terrible day trader. I always pick the wrong fucking one and I get stopped out for like 5 cents. Like it's just I feel like I'm wasting my time at the desk every day. Sorry, that was a little bit more of a rant than I wanted it to be. But I'm excited because I personally think that we're going to start getting into like more of a swingers market. And what I would love to see is I would love to see one more week of this. Now that we've identified the pattern, and what I mean by that is that, after 9:40 in the morning is when the runners start. So we identify range usually we identify range in pre-market, and that's usually the highest it'll go. And what I mean by that is like the top of the range. That's usually the top of the range. So we can usually give ourselves a guide. Now, everything is like waiting till 9:40 and then shit's starting to go. It's like everybody's waking. It's like market makers are like sleeping in. They're sleeping in, and then all of a sudden, and the beautiful thing is that they're packing in shorts because shorts are thinking that this range is, let's call it $2. So when the stock comes down to like 160, shorts think that their range is, the top of the range is $2, and all of a sudden this thing goes 220, 240, 310, and you're like, dude, it's 11 a.m. Like, where's the lunchtime? Like lunch costed me like 15 grand the other day because I went downstairs to go get it. And it was like 15 grand that I like gave up an opportunity cost. I was so pissed. Most expensive lunch I've ever had.
Yeah.
So pissed. But I would like to see 1 or 2 more weeks of this pattern, and then let's start getting some pre-market runners. Like let's let a few more penny stocks die. Let's get 100 penny stocks underneath $1. Let's start seeing some pre-market runners. 200% holding into open. And then that's when, I think that we can really bring swings back. I think that's when, maybe the penny market will stabilize a little bit, because right now you still feel all that downward pressure, except for on those few stocks that, explode intraday. I feel like we still feel this pressure on penny stocks.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is always like, man, I wish I was trading back last March. I'd be a millionaire. Or I wish I had this much money when I was trading last March, or knew what I was doing, blah, 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 blah. This is how it happened. I mean, we have to have these crazy dips that we've been seeing over the course of the past 2 months or so that will give us this opportunity, But I think it's trying to present itself. Obviously, we're not going to have COVID sectors like we did go absolutely bananas, but we're seeing the point where all these stocks are down in absolute assload.
Yeah. Everything's down. And then you have like things like OCGN with like a $2 billion market cap and like 100,000 in sales. So it's the last 20 months has just been so weird in the market. But I am excited. One sector that I'm really watching is I'm watching bios. Bios tend to heat up into this month. There's a lot of different, they all dropped a lot of offerings over the course of the last 4 months, and they usually like to heat up into this month. And especially with the recent killing of bios, or I mean, really the entire penny stock market, penny bios could be one sector that I have my eye on, because the way that I like to look at it is that if any of you guys have been following for a while, we talked about NVIV, NTNB, and there was one more in there that I'm forgetting. And why I like beating down penny stock bios is because what you can do is that you can kind of you can see how undervalued they are versus their competitors, or something like a comparable. So if something's trading at almost cash, and if something's trading at almost cash, then that's a pretty good risk to reward. Or for instance, like NVIV like quadrupled, and that was because it literally just ran for like 3 months every day. It was green running into data. And so it was like the easiest trade I've ever had. I ended up taking off like one of my screens because it was just taking up time, and I just set a stop loss, like a trailing stop loss, and it didn't hit for like weeks. It just was green for like 6 weeks. It's a beautiful trade. So I think that that's going to be the sector that I start to watch. But until this pattern proves otherwise, this intraday, like come to the market 9:30, 9:40, buy on support, cut, right underneath, that's going to be the kind of pattern and sector that I'm playing.
I know you're being forced to day trade more. Have you started to any positions on these swings? I mean,
yeah. So I have that SRNGU. This is the same. Have you heard of that one?
No, it sounds like a junior college in New Jersey.
Hey, back off to New Jersey. Yeah, we're smart as hell here. So SRNGU, that's Soaring Eagle Acquisition Corp. It is a pre-SPAC. The reason that I like them is because of the management team. The management team is the same exact management team. Is the same exact oh, I'm fucking forgetting now. What was it? DKNG? Fuck. Then you have to cut this part out. But
that's DraftKings.
No, but what was the other gambling one? Oh, SKLZ. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so I like SRNGU because of the management team. They have the same management team as Skills. We all saw what Skills did. In addition to that is that someone is buying a fuck ton of warrants. Like the warrants on our SRNGU have just been getting bought up and the stock hasn't really followed. So what I'm doing is that my average is 1050 on it. And I'm going to buy more underneath 1050, buy more underneath 1025 if it gets there. But other than that, I really like this. The other thing is that who they're merging with is massive, or not who they're merging with, but who they're rumored to be merging with is massive. And so I feel like the risk to reward is really good here. I feel like the risk to reward is really good here. They have a good management team, and I don't think that we're more than 3 weeks out from them, mentioning who they're merging with. I think so. So I feel like for 3 weeks, this thing could go nutty. So that's why I like that one. Like I said, I'm watching some different bios. But I haven't seen anything that I love. I am trying to confirm 1 or 2 more things on his swing, but there are some ones that are like the risk reward is beautiful. They have Catalyst coming up and 100, 200% from here is not out of the question. So we'll see.
How, and you just are starting positions in this, or are you starting to bag up?
SRNGU, I've been adding SRNGU on most dips. It looks like they're trying to keep it underneath 11. It'll hit 1099 and then it bounces off every single time. So SRNGU, I'm adding a pretty hefty position to. Obviously, Vissel, I have a pretty hefty position. But these penny bios I'm looking at, there's about 3 that I'm looking at. There's one that I'm pretty excited about. And if the IR answers me and comes back with what I want them to, then I'll have a pretty decent position in that stock because, I need to deploy some capital. I need to make some money, baby.
Yeah, dude. I've got to deploy some I'm about to deploy some capital to my accountant. Finally finishing up the taxes.
Hey, opa.
Yeah. No,
where'd you get taxed at?
I haven't even finished giving them all my shit, man. I am.
Oh,
behind.
What you're saying is you got paid last year, huh?
Oh no! What I'm saying is I've been lazy as shit, and if I didn't have a month delay on taxes, I'd be getting.
Yeah.
The IRS. So no, yeah. It is just nice.
We had that big episode about taxes, and I got tons of questions. And listen, I would love to know all the answers to all of them, but listen, all right, I'm just lucky to be making it through my accounting classes. That being said, it's really easy to overpay the IRS. This is actually, I'm happy that we're talking about this. It is super easy to overpay the IRS, and they won't tell you. But if you underpay them, they're like,
they will tell you.
They are the biggest pain in the ass in the world. I say that with love, the IRS. Please don't put a lien on my computers because I don't own anything else. But please talk to a tax accountant or talk to somebody that knows a lot more about taxes than just us goofballs, because it's worth the money. One, because if you underpay, they're the biggest pain in the ass. And if you overpay, they won't tell them. So I had someone who paid $30,000 over. And they were like, so what do I do now? And I'm like, dude, how do you miss that calculation? That's a pretty big miss of a calculation. He was like, well, dude, I had a good year. And I was like, yeah, I'll bet, man. But please, the money's worth it. It'll cost you $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 to talk to someone. No, isn't that that not that much?
I just don't want to pay that much.
Yeah, but listen. If you paid $30,000, you came to me and you're like, yo, Hugh, I think I just fucked up. I mean, it's a bigger pain in the ass to try and get that money back than just having some guy that knows everything do it for you.
Yeah.
And now that we're an entity. So now
dude, not to mention our business expenses being $522,000 last year. That was a good write-off for me. I'm just playing.
Entertime Corp. What was that?
You talking about ITRM?
No, I was talking about it. No, I'll tell you after this segment. But what do you call it? Yeah. So especially if you guys do open up an LLC. And you start trading under that. Think about it this way: you'll have your individual taxes, you'll have your entity. So right now, I'm coming up on my 4th LLC or my 4th entity. Now that Pennies Going in Raw is incorporated, baby. But so now it's like things are getting more complicated, and I'm just thankful that I'm not doing that shit because I would mess it up so bad. Distributions and trying to steal money from Dan. I mean, I couldn't
imagine trying to crank that shit out on like TurboTax. It reminds me of like that scene from Breaking Bad where the accountant is like, "What the there's no way you did not do all this on purpose. Like you are laundering money. You're doing a lot of bad stuff." And then Skylar comes in. She's like, "No, I did all this on Quicken Loans. Yeah. What do you mean?" He's like, you did all this on fucking Quicken Loans? So,
yeah. And just the last point about taxes is that only about 1% of Americans become audited every year or get audited every year. But if you get audited, that is the biggest process. That's the longest process if you don't have everything in order. So especially if you went from making $100,000 and all of a sudden you started making $3 million or something, or something like some guy DM me and he was like, yeah, dude, I threw all my money in UAVS and I rode it all the way to $7 or 1,000%. He's like, thanks, man. And I was like, what? And he threw 300,000 in there and
good
he
trade.
Pulled out. Oh, not bad trade. Yeah. So he's like, oh yeah, dude, I threw everything that I had. He's like a 50-year-old single guy, threw everything that he had.
Not single anymore.
And he turned into $3 million. He's like, thanks, man. My income's gonna go from 150 grand to 3.1 million or something. I was like, what? But that being said, you do have a higher chance of getting audited if there's a big gap one way or the other. You have a higher chance of being audited. So if you are that 1%, or just in general, just make sure that you have everything in order. If you were writing off, some questionable tax write-offs, make sure that you at least can prove some of those, or some of those charitable contributions. Some guy DM'd me, tried to write off $90,000 to his church or something, but that was his tax liability. He's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna contribute all to the church. I was like, dude, you better have some kind of documentation, because I don't know how you can just do that.
Take it up with God.
Yeah. So that's a little spiel on the old taxes, Uncle Sam.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking for a while. We had
a big week, didn't we?
We were in the newspaper.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Any newspaper?
And I think they're all the same.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
They're all owned by Bezos now, aren't they?
Yeah, it's one of those rich guys. It's lizard people. But yeah, we were in the New York Times. I'm gonna try and get a physical copy. I just don't know how to get mail newspapers because
that's today, right?
I'm a millennial nut job, lazy, doesn't want to work and read. I get everything through the internet. So
don't we have an intern for that? Isn't that what he does?
Christian travel from North Carolina and take a trip to New Jersey, then Alabama and back.
I live across the water, but Christian, come and get this newspaper. All right.
Yeah. So go check that out. We're officially rich because once you're in the newspaper, they pay you lots of money. They're like,
dude, we got paid billions just to do this.
You got billion? I only got 500 million.
Yeah, so that was exciting because it kind of gave validity to what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, totally gonna get an Instagram blue check mark soon off of this one.
Yeah, and it made us sound like, I mean, Tara. Shout out to Tara and shout out to Dougie B. Check out his podcast. Yeah, what a nice guy. He's all right. And Tara, she was awesome to work with. She made it sound much more smarter than we are, and she also quoted us as Mr. Hennessy and Mr. Knight, which was
we doxed ourselves. We fucked ourselves.
I know, dude. You know how many people found like my old?
I deleted my Facebook because I wasn't gonna have pictures of. Well, I didn't play sports in high school, so I don't have to worry about Huddle, like 24/7 football recruiting websites where it's just blasted. I got I got some pictures of me in like 9th, 10th grade all popping up. So, I used my intuition. I realized the internet is a bad place. And I fucking deactivated my Facebook within 4 seconds of reading my last name. Yeah.
That was smart. When we knew that this was coming out, I actually called like different places that had pictures of me when I was younger. And I was like, hey, listen, like, can you take these down? They told me yes, and then they never did it. So I got an email from like Huddle
it's too late, buddy. That thing's out in the wild now.
Oh yeah. No. I got an email from them saying that my viewers were up 10,000% compared to last month, and I was
That's
like,
hilarious. That's so
dude,
funny.
I was like, they were like, congratulations, like
maybe
like,
this is a big school.
Yeah, like scouts are noticing you is what that's what it said. Scouts are noticing you, are taking notice. 10,000% increase from last month. I was like, oh fuck me, man. This is
It's weird. Like for someone who's been arrested so many times, you just cannot find my mugshots online. Oh wow! So shout out to the Alabama and Georgia legal systems for keeping those down low. We all made mistakes in 2015, 14, 13, and 16. Those are just bad years. I mean, things just
those were horrible years.
For everyone. Yeah. So who knows? I'm not judging you off anything you did back then, but
they're similar.
Probably very similar. Yeah. No, I mean they were. We've gone over this before. They're not bad.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Misdemeanors and one felony that's been expunged, but all drug related. So they were all very cool, all very hip, all very
And now today they wouldn't even be criminalized.
Oh my God! Well, in Alabama they still would be.
All right, well, if you come to like a nicer state like New Jersey.
If I come to a state that has laws past the fucking 1980s, I'd probably only have like a public intox on my record right now. But hey,
dude, that's nothing.
If I was hiring people, exactly. It's like if you don't have that, you probably weren't. You probably didn't have many friends. You probably didn't party. So or maybe you're just responsible. Anyways, that's all I got.
So listen, I love receiving my 10-year-old football picture inside my DMs asking if this is me. Yes. Thank you for watching my Huddle.
The fucking middle where it says middle linebacker is so funny. Like, dude, it might as well say dinosaur right there.
Yeah, so thank you guys for bringing that to my attention again. I think I've been added like 15 billion times with that picture, telling me that I'm yokes.
Yo, let's run up that Huddle page to make him the number one football recruit in the nation. Let's make sure he gets all the offers. He wants Notre Dame, Alabama, USC, Texas. He wants the recruiting trips. He wants them all. Nick Saban, this is your fucking guy.
I want a grand under the table, like
a grand, dude. You're a 5-star. You can easily get 200, bro. Cam Newton got like $250,000 for a year at Auburn.
Are you serious?
Allegedly, as an Auburn fan, yeah. Yeah, dude. A national championship, man. That's big. So cough it up.
$250,000 is nothing. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I want 500. I want a half a branch or half a stick.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. So
we'll get
thank
it.
you guys for bringing Dan's record, my huddle.
Yeah.
We love seeing those.
Nah, dude. Yeah. Everyone's got a past, you know. It's honor 'em. All right, boys.
guys.
Yeah, we'll see you Wednesday. 5 star.